So yes, this is my first video, I guess, on a non-sports related topic, which is gonna be today fashion. So I'm somebody that I have no real formal training in fashion. I never studied fashion or garments or styling in any sort of structured setting. Well, everything I know is just from my own personal intuition, and also I guess from absorbing it from popular media, things you see, you always absorb to a certain extent. And then obviously the people you surround yourself, you learn a lot from them. So I wanted to talk about high fashion because it's something that I was never really exposed to until I guess last year. And I want to focus on the Maison Margiela Artisanal Collection by Glenn Marten from last year. I believe it's his debut show with the brand. It was one of the first full shows that I've seen in its entirety, and honestly it blew me away. I'd never seen something like it. Obviously you see like snippets of catwalks and stuff like that in the past, just because it's in popular media. But I sat down to watch it fully as like an audiovisual project. And it was incredible, honestly. I saw stuff that really blew me away. I guess to me it felt really grounded. There was an obvious focus on materials, in terms of like organic materials like ores, minerals, metals in I guess you would say the first half or the first part of the show. And I think that the textures and shapes are used in a way with light that creates harmony. And I think it leads to an incredible array of designs. I'm going to be showing some of these up on the screen, and like these are very cool, like as structures, as pieces. Obviously some of these things are just to present. I guess, I'm assuming, like these won't be sold in retail or anything like that, but some of these garments are incredible. They work so well together. And something that I thought was very interesting in regards to that was the choice to remove identity from the runway as a whole. Like all of the models, I think, were wearing some sort of facial structure that obstructed their face. And I think in a way this made the garments feel more complete, as in like one structure. And then there's a shift to, I guess, more feathery designs. That's both in the textures as well as the colors that are used. I think it's a shift that feels a little bit less chaotic than the previous segment, but still feels organic, just in a different way. I still really like these other designs, and I like the way that mostly that the colors play with each other within the section as a whole, as well as within each presented design. And finally, the dresses, I think they're very elegant. Obviously, I guess they're more traditional, I'm assuming, but I think they still are able to combine both of the aspects that we talked about before. So the organic, minerally feelings from the first section with the structure and flow of the second. So less chaos, but still having those elements in place. But overall, I think it's an incredible project. I recommend you go and watch the whole thing, even if you have no previous experience with this, just like I did, And honestly, it was incredible as an audiovisual project. The whole way that it was presented, all the specific garments, obviously also the way that the models showed the work, I think is incredible. And honestly, I'm blown away by everybody involved and their hard work, and I think it's a very amazing project. And I'm excited to see if they do something similar this year in terms of like an artisanal presentation, because I think it was very, very cool. So yeah, I guess those are my quick thoughts just on this whole project. I think it's very cool, and I'm excited to see what they do next.